Hello guys, so welcome back to Biology Lectures with Akerele Oladimiji Philip. So today we'll be moving on to factors affecting diffusion. Alright, it says here there are a number of factors affecting the rate of diffusion in the system. These factors are either increasing the rate of diffusion or decreasing it, or as the case may be. The main factors affecting diffusion are difference in concentration gradient, temperature of the system, then surface area of the membrane separating the two regions, like how wide is it, how in contact is it, and all of those. So let's get started. So basically here, the difference in concentration gradient, the greater the difference in concentration gradient between the two regions, the faster the rate of overall diffusion. There won't be much diffusion if two regions have equal number of molecules. Let's watch this. Now, this is, let me call this region A, even it was a continuous process anyways, region B or segment A, B, C. Now, in A, let's imagine they were different. It will be very easy for molecules to move like this. This is area of high concentration, this is region of low concentration. So, someone will easily move from high to low easily. Why? Because there's nothing here in the first place. But in B also, so once we move easily, this is about, I don't know, maybe 20 something molecules, then you have 3 here, so it easily moves. But in C, you have 14 molecules here. I think I did count this sometimes ago. This is 14. The molecules, as it's coming here, they are hitting each other. So the movements, if this one wants to move this way, they hit each other like that. So the movements will be very little or zero. Why? Because the substances don't have space to move anymore, because the movement has now become the same. I mean, the number of molecules on both sides are almost equal. So the point is, the more difference there is, let me get that off so that I can get this clearly. So the point is, here, the difference is much, very, very much. High concentration, low concentration, high concentration, low concentration, high concentration, high concentration. So there will be movement really like that. So that's number one. Number two, the higher the temperature, I think I mentioned this when we're introducing diffusion, the more the kinetic energy the particles have to move. This will cause the particles to move faster and collide more often, increasing. So once they hit each other, they bounce, and that gives them room to move around. So on the other hand, when the temperature is low, this connotes lesser energy, hence the molecules will move quite slowly. So you can see that the more the energy is in the system, I used to tell my students this example, I would say that if you're seated on a metallic chair and you're well seated and relaxed, then someone puts a flame or there's a heater on that metallic chair. Once it gets hot, before, let's assume it's getting hot gradually, then you start moving and all of that. The moment it gets very hot, you jump up. That's the same way the molecules also jump at each other and colliding. So temperature increases, increased temperature increases rate of diffusion, basically. Now this one talks about surface area of the membrane separating the two regions. This hand and this hand want to diffuse. So the more wide the surface area is, the faster it is. Between these two, there will be faster diffusion like this than if it were to be like this. This contact is not much, just is a part. It can be as fast as if you have it like this. Like the whole surface is contact here, and let's say it's not even thick again. But here it's going to be shorter because it's just a part. So let's read that. It says a membrane that has a greater surface area will have a greater rate of diffusion across it. How much of the surface area is in contact with the substance tells on how fast the substance diffuses through the surface area, basically. So like I told you, here is going to be slower as compared to this. Like this is very wide surface. Let's say this, the substance to be dissolved is this, and this is the membrane to absorb it. So it's like almost the entire surface is in contact. Now it says to understand this much better, let's look at surface area to volume ratio. So let's look at this. It says here, the surface area to volume ratio of an organism affects how easily substances can be exchanged between it and its environment. Unicellular organisms like bacteria and protists are single-celled. Humans have large surface area in comparison to their volume. Now, this means that the thickness of the bacteria is relatively low, very small, just a bacterium cell. As such, substances do not have to travel very far to get to where they are needed. This is the bacteria around in some solution. Then it can easily diffuse in because the thickness of this guy is very small, so it just goes in, and whatever it needs to go out goes out like that. For this reason, diffusion osmosis and transport is sufficient enough to meet the needs of these cells because their size is very small, so their thickness is not much, so things can just go in and out easily. But for us or multicellular organisms, the same is not the case because things need to diffuse. I mean, things cannot, you can't insert just this hand into a fluid containing nutrient and you think to absorb it. It won't work because the thickness of the skin is far way more, so it can't absorb it. Diffusion cannot work, osmosis cannot work because even though we have pores, it won't be absorbed. No, because we are far way very, very thick as an organism. So you can see it says as the size of an organism increases, the surface area talks about the size of that organism to volume ratio decreases. So it's saying, so as we are increasing in size, our surface area to volume ratio is what is decreasing. So you can see it here that this is a cell, just one single cell. Look at the surface area to volume ratio. It is 6:1. Man, so the surface area is 6, then the volume is just 1. So if the entire body is in contact with the nutrients. But look at it when you get to this other cell here. Let's imagine those cubes are cells. The surface area to volume ratio has reduced. So the surface area is 24, then this volume is 8. Now, so surface area to volume ratio is now 3:1. So that means the contact it has with the environment has reduced. Then look at this guy here. The surface area to volume ratio has reduced to 2. So that means the cells in the center here will not be able to have have the nutrients easily across to them. Even look at this one here. Let's say this is multicellular organism, okay? Diffusion can take place. It takes a longer time. Look at the time taken. So diffusion of material takes a long time to reach the innermost cell. See what is happening? It's starting now. So this is moving. It takes a very longer time. If I thought it will ever reach it. In our own case, it will never. If you insert your finger, I don't think it can ever get in to the cells, like ever. Really, it's not even going to. It's going to like take like forever. But this one is just trying to show you here, trying to show you that the thicker the organism is, the longer it takes for the molecules to go into the innermost cell, as it were.